Welcome back to Catch Some Soulshine Season 3. I'm your host, Dawn Renee Bova, and this year I got a new mic, but I didn't have all the equipment, so it's okay. We're going to improvise. I'm just going to hold the mic and we'll see how this goes. To tell you what a pleasure it's been that you have been joining me on these podcasts, and I know I took a little bit of a break, but I really needed it because I'm really focusing on a project centered around grief. And if you're lucky, you're going to experience it. And that sounds kind of weird to say, but grief has been my biggest teacher. I've learned so much, not only from the grief process, which I had to feel in its entirety, but also from the seeking and learning and exploring and doing different methods to, basically remove the things that are blocking me off from the sunlight of the spirit so that I can live happy, joyous, and free. Because, life is finite here on earth, and I think that we all deserve to live an abundant, joyful, free life. I want to first off start by kind of telling you some key components of grief and loss. Now, grief is defined as an emotional response to loss, which can be a wide range of feelings and reactions. Absence of possession, future possession can trigger grief response. People often associate grief with the loss of a loved one, but it can be the loss of a job, the loss of a pet, the loss of your home. I know my daughter was living in Asheville and she lost her job, her income, had to move back home, and it was a huge grieving process for her. And there's no way around it, just through. You can experience feelings like sadness, anger, fear, guilt, the what ifs, the whys, could have done this, are relentless in the beginning. And instead of feeling bad about that, I just want to share with you that's part of the process, and that starts to resolve over time. It can also increase anxiety and depression. The complexity of grief is so deep. You can have feelings of numbness and confusion. Grief brain, it's a real thing. Like, you forget things all the time. Yearning, wishing, why couldn't things have been different? Anxiety. And then you have moments of acceptance, and they alternate with all these various things. My point is that, yes, you do have to experience these feelings, and unless you do, it prolongs the path of grief. But if you infuse other things into your healing journey, such as creativity, meditation, prayer, community, it does help speed up the process. Typically, in an average length, acute grief lasts about 6 months, but grief lasts much longer than that. However, it's been my experience that when you use tools to help you navigate the journey, you can get through it a lot quicker. You can get through it with a lot more ease, I think is a better way to say it. Some of the things that I have done is get out into nature, do some walking, or bring nature into your home, like plants and greenery and flowers. There's a lot of research saying that really does improve your brain neuroplasticity and elevates your mood. Writing, journaling, and there's different types of journaling, okay? So you can talk about gratitude. I write 5 things, that sometimes 6 or more, that I'm grateful for every day, and it kind of sets the tone because your brain has momentum, right? So if you get up in the morning and the first thing you do, and I'm really trying hard to break this habit, the first thing you do is get on Facebook and look at political happenings or tragedy in the world or disasters. it starts that momentum and depletes your energy. But if you get up in the morning and focus on gratitude, everything that you have to be grateful for, and write that down and journal and maybe do some meditation or some prayer, it starts the momentum in a different direction. I do encourage you to get up and write down 5 things that you're grateful for. You can even write about a happy, joyous, and free life that you're living, even if you're not, because when you speak it, it becomes reality. I mean, it's proven. The author of The Secret talks about this in length. You know, she wrote that book and she decided that it was going to be a blockbuster, big seller, and she told herself over and over that that was the truth, and it happened. And I know that this sounds kind of crazy, but if you don't believe it, it won't happen. But if you do believe, it will. It takes persistence and really conditioning that mind and that brain to believe that it has happened. One of the things about media is it just repeats things over and over and over, and it makes them grow in your brain. So when you talk about neural pathways, you're creating more pathways over and over and over, even if it's the same situation shown over and over. So turn it off, because you're not going to change it, but you can change the way you react to it. If you know me, you know that creativity is my jam. I truly believe it has been such a positive pathway of healing for me that I encourage everyone to participate in creative outlets. So for me, it's been art journaling, writing. I like to sing. I like to listen to music. I meditate. And I don't think that there's just one specific way to overcome grief. I think community is important, sharing with other people, anything that you can express emotionally, a nonverbal way to let out complex emotions is very helpful. For me, it's been painting. So a canvas can take different strokes. Different strokes can relay different messages or feelings or emotions. And colors can do the same thing. If you're angry, you might want to throw some red paint on there. If you're sad or just in that wave tears of emotion, maybe some blue paint. It's really interesting that the body knows your thoughts can guide your art, and it doesn't have to be beautiful. It's just an expression and a way to let that out in ways that words can't. So music also provides an emotional release and gives comfort to you when you're having some grief or some loss in your life. So you can pick certain songs that are very meaningful for you, or you can just put on plain vibrational tones with no words, because I don't know about you, but sometimes songs will come up that are very triggering for me. And if I'm not in a good energetic state and grounded and connected to spirit, that can be really traumatizing. So be mindful of what music you're listening to on your healing journey. And again, it's good to cry. There was a research study on tears that showed different people, they would examine their tears, and when they were happy versus sad or grieving, they had different molecular structures to the tears. So it really does help flush some of that out when you're crying these tears. I've recently started baking sourdough. And when I made my first loaf of sourdough, it turned out disastrous. And I thought, I am never doing this again, because it took so much time and so much effort just to be wasted. But I decided to try again. And the next time, it turned out a little bit better. And now it's just such a therapy, a way of release, the kneading and the folding of the bread and the patience that it takes to wait in between each set of bread pulls or kneading. So it's been a very positive therapeutic experience, and cooking in general is a way to express yourself creatively and cook heartfelt meals for you or someone else. Writing can help you process your emotions, but I really like to write to direct my emotions. So I want to remove the things that are blocking me from the sunlight of the spirit or the universal energy or God. And I want to take those away, because in the end, it doesn't really matter. I can't change anything that's happened in my life. It's time to, tap into that universal love and spread it to everyone you know. And that's really something that this world needs right now. So what are some daily rituals that you can incorporate? Well, if you're just getting started out, I would recommend that you get up and read maybe something from a 24-hour-a-day book to set the tone for your day. It could be a religious book. It could be a spiritual book. It could be something that's fun and light, but do that every day. And then take 5 minutes to just sit calmly and maybe write or sketch, and then start your day. Now, if you can't get all of those done, just do the reading. It's simple. And I'm going to be creating a secret podcast with some prompts for those that are interested. So you can reach out to me. I'll be talking more about that later, but just to have some kind of guideposts for you to get started on your journey. One of the things that seems very simple, but it is very soothing, is lighting a candle or having certain scents in the home. Dance, physical movement, exercise, walking. Those are all things that really do increase your endorphins and help the brain's neurotransmitters and help you through grieving times. I guess I'm going to close a little early today. I really want to welcome you back to the podcast, and I would like you to share with me some of the things that you have done to help you through life's darkest moments, because we're just getting started, and we are going to really focus in on creating some positive changes over this next season that you can incorporate into your life so that you can live the best life possible. I really appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button if you're on YouTube. If you're on Apple, please leave me a rating and a thumbs up. And I will see you next week.